What happened? Are you okay? I stopped by my son and his wife's house to check on my 3-year-old grandchild. What I saw was my grandchild chained up in the room, looking lethargic and semi-conscious. How terrible. Furious, I called the police, and they arrived in less than 5 minutes. However, I was the one put in handcuffs by the officer who said, "You're under arrest." There must be some mistake. I'm the one who called. Despite my protests, they wouldn't listen and took me away in a police car. However, I later managed to turn the tables due to certain events. And I vowed to seek revenge against the person who did such a horrible thing to my grandchild. I'm Colette, 63 years old. I've been living alone since my husband passed away 3 years ago. My son, Tyrone, married Lizzie 5 years ago, and they lived an hour's drive away from our house. About half a year ago, Tyrone started working away from home, and I hadn't seen my granddaughter Monica since then. Wondering how they were doing, I messaged Lizzie, and she replied the next day. "Monica has been wanting to see you. Why don't you come over?" I was having tea with a friend near my son's house and replied, "I'll be there in about an hour, looking forward to it and buying a gift for my grandchild." But when I arrived at my son's house at the agreed time, there was no response to the doorbell. Curious, I tried the doorknob and it was unlocked. "Lizzie, are you there?" "I'm coming in." I entered hesitantly and found my granddaughter Monica chained up. "Monica! Monica! What happened? Are you okay?" I rushed over and called out to her, but Monica was lethargic and semi-conscious. Moreover, she had lost a lot of weight and had multiple bruises on her skin visible through her tattered clothes. "This is terrible. I need to call the police." I immediately called the police and arranged for an ambulance as well. To my surprise, the police arrived in less than 5 minutes. As I was surprised by their quick response, I was told, "You're under arrest," and suddenly arrested. "Wait a minute, please. There must be some mistake. I was the one who called." However, the police said they received a call 10 minutes ago about a mother-in-law making a small child suffer. Who would do such a thing? As I was about to be put into the police car, confused, I saw Lizzie peeking out from behind a utility pole, watching us. And when the paramedics arrived, she suddenly rushed out in a panic. "Monica! What happened? Oh, Lizzie! Can't you prove I'm innocent?" "Don't be silly. Officer, this person here is the one who did such terrible things to Monica." "What are you talking about? I live far away. It's impossible for me to do such a thing." Lizzie glared at me with sharp eyes, claiming she had been hospitalized due to illness and had left Monica in my care during that time. Lizzie was the one who invited me over. What's going on? Stunned, I was led to the police car, and the ambulance carrying Monica and Lizzie drove off ahead of me. Later, I was placed in a bleak room at the police station and questioned. Everything Lizzie said was a lie. I don't even understand why I was treated as the culprit. I asked them to check my mobile phone screen for the message exchange with Lizzie. However, all her replies had been deleted. It seemed Lizzie had deleted the messages she sent to me. Was Lizzie the one who harmed Monica and called the police? That thought crossed my mind, but I had no proof and decided it was best not to speculate. For the time being, I showed them the receipt for the gift I bought for my grandchild, continuing to plead my innocence. But the police didn't believe me. After being released due to insufficient evidence, I went home and called Tyrone. "Mom, what's up all of a sudden?" "Oh, just wondering how you are. I miss seeing Monica." "Oh, Monica is full of energy, I hear from Lizzie every day." My son didn't sound like he was lying, which puzzled me, but if I hung up now, I wouldn't be able to protect Monica in the future. I quickly searched for what to say next. "Oh, I heard Lizzie was hospitalized because she was feeling unwell?" "I don't think that's true. She didn't even seem to have a cold." Tyrone was vague even though he was talking about his own wife. Suspecting he was hiding something, I asked if something had happened. Tyrone was silent for a while, then let out a deep sigh. I guess I can't hide it from you, Mom. Actually, we're getting a divorce. What? Why? The classic irreconcilable differences. We've been fighting nonstop since I started working away from home. I was shocked by his unexpected response, and when I heard that Lizzie would get custody of Monica after the divorce, I couldn't help but raise my voice. That's unacceptable. Absolutely not. I know it's sad, like losing a grandchild, but it's best for children to be with their mother. No, you need to listen to me. I then decided to tell Tyrone everything that happened today. When I told him I was treated as a suspect and taken away by the police, he was shocked and muttered, "What's going on?" It seemed Tyrone was completely unaware of the situation. I thought it might be best to share my concerns. I'm so worried about Monica. I don't want to think this way, but I'm afraid Lizzie might be doing something. Which hospital was Monica taken to? The paramedics told me. I think I'll go check. Unable to hold back any longer while talking to Tyrone, I hung up and immediately jumped into my car. An hour later, I arrived at the hospital and, wearing a large mask to conceal my face, I blended in with the waiting patients and looked around for Monica and Lizzie. I can't find Monica. What should I do? Despite coming this far, I felt helpless and decided to get some fresh air in the backyard, where I heard a familiar voice. There, I saw Lizzie and a doctor speaking quite intimately. It's hilarious how easily the police were fooled by me. I was the one who chained up Monica and didn't feed her. They think the mother-in-law is the culprit, so she won't be getting out of detention for a while. Hearing Lizzie had called the police confirmed my worst fears, and I felt a wave of darkness wash over me. Then, I became furious upon hearing a certain plan she mentioned next. Not today. To avoid suspicion, let's execute the plan in 2 or 3 days. Lizzie's face was colder than I'd ever seen, sending chills down my spine. However, overhearing their conversation allowed me to understand the reasons behind Lizzie's mysterious actions. There's no time to think this over. Determined to protect Monica at all costs, I quickly began to prepare. The next day, I waited in the backyard where Lizzie and the doctor had their secret meeting. Based on their conversation the day before, they always met here to talk. Hiding behind a large tree, they arrived just as I expected. How could Monica regain consciousness? At this rate, it'll be revealed that I'm the one who weakened her. Do something before she gets better. Lizzie was excitedly shouting dangerous things at the top of her lungs. Gently patting her shoulder, the man nodded and said, "Leave it to me. If you succeed, I'll give you half of Monica's life insurance money. Make sure she's dead. After the mother-in-law is in prison, I'll share the property with you too." I clenched my fists, unable to stand the detestable Lizzie. My anger reached its peak, and I couldn't hold back any longer. I'd like to hear more about what you just said. What? Colette. Why are you here? I was released due to lack of evidence. Too bad for you. Lizzie, looking awkward, approached me as if nothing had happened. I'm so relieved. I was worried about you. What are you talking about? You're the one who called the police. There's no way that. Before Lizzie could finish, I played the video I had recorded on my mobile phone from their conversation yesterday. The video revealed all their schemes. Lizzie's face went pale upon hearing it. Not only did you treat Monica horribly, but you also tried to pin the blame on me and take my property after I was sent to prison. You two are devils. Actually, the doctor conspiring with her was Monica's ex-boyfriend. After sending their photo to Tyrone, he told me he recognized the man. Doctor, how much did you rack up in gambling debts to be so desperate for money? How did you know that? This was also something I heard from my son. The gambling debts were the reason Lizzie and the man broke up during their relationship. Convinced they were repeating the same mistakes, I coaxed the truth out of them, and it seemed my suspicions were correct. I borrowed $80,000 from Consumer Finance. That's it. If you want to help Monica, Colette, could you pay off the debt instead? You really are something. If we're going to talk about this, let's do it in Monica's hospital room. Agreeing, Lizzie, the doctor, and I headed to Monica's hospital room. Reunited with Monica, who was lying in the hospital bed, I rushed to her side, overwhelmed with joy. Monica. Monica. It's Grandma. Do you recognize me? Yeah. Grandma. I was scared. Monica, holding my hand and hugging me, looked so pitiful. How terrified she must have been. It's all right now. I'll protect you no matter what. As I gently hugged her and stroked her head, I heard a noise and turned around to see Lizzie locking the door to the hospital room. Oh, what a touching scene. Maybe I should join in, just kidding. Lizzie approached with a sleazy smile, then snatched my mobile phone from my hand and smashed it on the floor. She then took out the SD card, breaking it in half. Evidence destruction complete. This is the end for you, Colette. It's sad to say goodbye, but you'll be joining your husband. What? It's more profitable to take all of your assets than to have you pay off the debt. Lizzie pinned me down in shock, and the doctor, with a sleazy grin, took a syringe out of his pocket. Indeed, this was the terrifying plan I had overheard in the hospital's backyard. Good thing I prepared. Guess we'll start with the elderly rather than the child, he said, approaching me. Get your hands off Mom! Tyrone emerged from under the bed with his smartphone in hand, surprising Lizzie and the doctor. Why are you here? I got a call from Mom. I've heard everything. You deliberately called us to this room. Lizzie glared at me bitterly. By the way, you smashed the SD card, but I have another backup. Oh, and Tyrone is currently recording this exchange on his mobile phone. Tyrone stood in front of us to protect me and Monica. Lizzie, despite her pale face, seemed not to have given up yet. Then we'll have to take care of all three of you. Come on, don't just stand there. Pushed by Lizzie, the sweating doctor slowly approached Tyrone. At that moment, a female voice asked, "What's the matter?" I had secretly pressed the nurse call button, summoning a nurse. It's an emergency. Bring the keys and security. We'll be killed if you don't hurry. What? The nurse exclaimed loudly. They seemed to be making a phone call, forgetting to hang up the nurse call. The panicked doctor tried to leave the room but couldn't walk well due to trembling knees. Please hurry and help us. As I shouted louder, the door unlocked and security guards and nurses rushed into the room. After quickly explaining the situation, security detained Lizzie and the doctor. He tried to attack me with that syringe in his pocket. Please check its contents. The security confiscated the syringe with suspicious liquid, and the doctor tried to deflect blame, saying, "It's not my fault. She seduced me into it. The evidence on the video will show who's at fault. Let the police decide." Lizzie, there's no need for discussion. We're getting a divorce. I'll take care of Monica. Wait. Don't abandon me. I'll break up with my ex-boyfriend. Please forgive me. She clung to Tyrone with tears streaming down her face, but Tyrone shook her off. Then, she turned to me and offered a profound apology. Colette, please stop the police. I won't do anything like this again. You should be grateful you can still eat, even if it's bad food. Experience a bit of the hardship Monica endured, being chained and starved. Look, your ride is here. Outside the room, the police cars called by the nurses had arrived. I handed over the SD card with the video and the data from Tyrone's mobile phone to the police, and the crestfallen Lizzie and the doctor were taken away. Subsequently, Lizzie and the doctor were imprisoned for conspiring to take Monica's life and for framing me, putting me in danger. Tyrone divorced Lizzie and gained custody of Monica, claiming $30,000 in damages for Monica's emotional distress and for the affair, which he also demanded from the doctor. It was decided that I would take care of Monica for a while. Monica recovered quite well and happily runs around the garden now. We're all looking forward to living together once Tyrone's work assignment ends. It's better not to go home even after you're discharged. My 5-year-old daughter, who came to visit me in the hospital, muttered this. I couldn't understand what she was saying and tilted my head in confusion. Then look at this. I couldn't stop trembling when I saw the photo that my daughter, who possesses a mysterious power, handed to me. That's because it captured something unbelievable. In that moment, everything came crashing down. And at the same time, a brilliant revenge drama was about to begin. My name is Cheryl. I'm 32 years old. I lived with my husband Marty, who is 3 years older than me, and our 5-year-old daughter. I worked at the same company as Marty and was drawn to his cheerful personality. I thought about quitting when I got pregnant, but after discussing with HR, I changed my mind and returned to work in a different department after maternity leave. Since we were both working, we shared household chores and took care of our daughter together. Our daughter Erica was innocent and cheerful, and she loved her daycare. Erica, who had always been a great helper, took the initiative to help when we were sorting out my parents' house after they passed away 2 years ago. But at that time, Erica was still just a little girl. When she found my dad's Polaroid camera, she became obsessed with it and couldn't focus on anything else. Marty, who was there, said, "Miss Photographer, could you take a picture of me?" Erica got into the spirit and cheerfully said, "Say, cheese." Both of them put off helping, but to me, it was a happy scene. I also have an older sister who is 3 years older than me, and she was a good listener. I confided everything to her, including how I met Marty. Since her daughter was the same age as mine, we visited each other's homes and had a close family relationship. However, things started to change after I turned 30. Marty started coming home late citing work reasons, and he completely stopped helping with household chores. He would go out on weekends, and seeing my daughter look lonely, I pointed this out to Marty one day. Then he yelled, "Why the hell do I, a man, have to do cleaning and stuff? Let me do what I want at least on my days off." Since then, our conversations became less frequent, and our marital relationship wasn't good. Yet, when my sister Chloe came over, Marty's attitude changed completely. "Chloe, welcome. Please stay over tonight." As we saw each other more often, it seemed Marty and Chloe had become close without me knowing, always engrossed in their conversations even when I was around. Around the same time, I was filled with anxiety. One day, when I tried to ride my bicycle, I found the brakes were broken. There are many roads around our house, and it could have led to a serious accident if I hadn't noticed. On another day, it seemed like disasters were just waiting to happen, like the screws on the ladder being loose. Should I talk to Marty about this? But Marty was so distant lately, heading straight to bed as soon as he got home, making it impossible to talk to him about anything. Phew, that was close. But I'm glad I was safe again this time. Actually, there was a secret reason why I had survived numerous life-threatening situations. Amidst these dangerous incidents, my daughter went to stay overnight at my sister's house by herself. As a result, it was just Marty and me, alone as a couple. Feeling uneasy, I busied myself with cleaning, something I usually wouldn't do. Then, Marty slowly approached me. "Since it's just the two of us, how about we go see the night view? You know, the place we used to go to when we were dating." "Eh?" So suddenly. "What's going on?" "Actually, I've been cold to you because I've been busy with work." "I'm sorry." "So, I want to go back to the beginning and repair our relationship." Saying that, Marty hugged me. It was a small hill about a 10-minute drive from our house. It was a hidden spot with a panoramic view of the cityscape, where hardly anyone was around. It was also the place where he asked me out, making it a special memory for me. Marty still cares about me. I'm so relieved. Overwhelmed and teary with happiness, I decided to go see the night view with Marty. After getting ready quickly, I was about to step out of the house. Then, Marty said, "I can't let a lady carry the luggage," and took my bag for me. His gentlemanly behavior made me happy. But little did I know, this action would lead to a tragedy later on. When we arrived at the spot, the attentive care I had just received was no more. Marty said, "I'll go ahead and find the best spot to see the night view," and disappeared into the dark with just a flashlight.
Wait! Don't leave me behind!
I wanted to hurry, but it was pitch dark and I couldn't see anything. I tried to use my cell phone to light up the area, but I had entrusted my bag with the phone in it to Marty. The ground was uneven, and I had to walk carefully step by step to avoid tripping. Suddenly, I felt like someone pushed me, and I lost my balance and fell off a cliff. The next thing I knew, I was in a hospital bed.
I was wondering why I couldn't find you when an ambulance came and there was a big commotion. I got closer and saw you being carried on a stretcher. I was scared to death.
Marty held my hand with tears in his eyes. The nurse said someone happened to pass by and found me lying at the bottom of the cliff, and they called for help. And for some reason, Chloe was there too and came with me in the ambulance.
Chloe helped with the hospital arrangements, and she said she'd take care of Erica at her house until you're discharged.
Ah. I see. Chloe. Fortunately, there was no serious harm to my life, and I was able to go home 3 days later. And on the day before my discharge, Erica came to visit me, but she seemed anxious. "I'm sorry for worrying you, but I'll be back home tomorrow." I tried to reassure Erica with a cheerful tone, but her expression remained tense. Then, as if making up her mind, Erica nodded and said something shocking.
"It's better not to go home even after you're discharged."
"Why?" "Mom is all better now, as you can see." I didn't understand what Erica was saying and just smiled in response. But Erica, with a serious face, rummaged through her bag and handed me a photo.
"Mom, look. Is this real?"
I couldn't stop trembling from fear. But this revealed who had been causing me harm all along. I can't forgive them. I trusted them. Anger welled up from the depths of my stomach, and I couldn't hold it in any longer. However, there were still too many uncertainties to corner the perpetrator for sure. So, I sent a message to Marty saying, my hospital stay has been extended by a week. And I informed him that I had been transferred to another hospital due to a lack of beds, and that hospital did not allow visitors. A week later, I returned home. "If you had told me the day you were getting discharged, I would have come to pick you up right away." Marty said this with a smile as he returned from work.
"Thanks. But I can't get into a car driven by you. After all, you're trying to take my life."
I then showed Marty a photo.
"Whoa! What's this? When did?"
The photo clearly showed Marty pushing me off the cliff in the dark.
"There are no security cameras there, and I even turned off the car's dash cam. How does this exist?"
It's no wonder Marty was puzzled. After all, this photo was taken by Erica using my dad's Polaroid camera, a camera that could capture psychic images. Actually, Erica had a mysterious ability to sense danger in advance and capture those moments with my dad's camera. Her power manifested around the same time I started encountering dangerous situations.
"Mom, something scary is going to happen, so don't go anywhere."
One day, Erica suddenly handed me a photo. I was safe from the broken bicycle brakes and the loose ladder screws thanks to Erica. However, if this became known to the public, Erica would surely be viewed with suspicion. So, we decided to keep Erica's mysterious power a family secret. I had confided in Chloe, but since Marty and I had stopped talking, I never got the chance to tell him. Erica said she couldn't tell who was behind the first 2 incidents. But this time, she clearly saw Marty trying to get rid of me.
"I have to tell Mom, but I can't get through to her phone. What should I do?"
"Erica, do you know where you are? Can you see anything around you?" After patiently gathering information from Erica, Chloe figured out it was the hill full of memories with Marty I had often talked about. When she rushed there, I was found collapsed at the bottom of the cliff as Erica sensed, already being rescued by a passerby who happened to be there first. Later, while preparing for my hospital stay, Chloe got hold of my dad's Polaroid camera from my house. Erica had captured the scene of Marty's crime and brought it to show me in the hospital. This
This is fake. You're trying to frame me. Then how do you explain this, Marty? You brought a young girl from work to our house while I was away.
I played a video on my mobile phone showing Marty and the woman getting cozy.
There's no way an amateur like me could make this video. Isn't it time you admitted it?
I pointed to the hidden camera installed in the room.
How did you manage to do all this while you were in the hospital?
I had lied about my extended hospital stay to gather evidence of Marty's wrongdoing, running around from Chloe's house where I was staying. Initially, I was jealous of Marty and Chloe's relationship. However, it was a misunderstanding. While I don't know about Marty's intentions, Chloe's friendliness towards him was merely out of politeness. Chloe supported me to the fullest in delivering retribution to Marty.
How could you betray me like this?
Now. Have some tea and let's talk this over calmly. He suddenly suggested having tea. But Erica had already psychically captured Marty's actions.
What, did you put something dangerous in it?
I casually pulled out a photo of Marty adding some powdery substance into the cup.
Yikes!
Marty was completely taken aback and shuddered in fear. Confess everything. I pressed, and he began to speak, his voice shaking. According to Marty, he had fallen in love at first sight with a new employee, started dating her, and wanted to marry her. However, he was concerned that she worked at the same place as us.
If I divorced Cheryl and remarried soon after, she might get labeled as the bad woman who stole someone's husband, right?
That would be too pitiful.
Are you saying you tried to kill me to protect your mistress? If Cheryl was out of the picture, she wouldn't be looked at strangely, and I wouldn't have to deal with the hassle of a divorce. It was perfect.
Marty also confessed to orchestrating the dangerous incidents that had been occurring around me.
You're the worst. Fine, I'll give you what you want and divorce you. But I wonder if you'll be able to be with your mistress. What do you mean?
It seems she wasn't really interested in you. By this time, I had already contacted the mistress and spoken to her. It turns out she was attracted to Marty because he was the husband of the high-achieving Cheryl. She was just basking in the superiority of being pursued by such a man.
So, she wasn't actually in love with me?
Indeed, I was well respected in the company, and the reason I didn't resign was that the upper management went to great lengths to retain me. The mistress agreed to pay a settlement and promised to resign without seeing Marty again. Faced with the sudden breakup and the realization that she never loved him, Marty was tearful.
Also, this incident was reported to the company, and I was interviewed by HR.
So, I've reported everything that you did to me.
What, really? If you do that, I won't be able to stay at the company. Cheryl, help me. You're the only one who can save me now. The nerve you have to say something like that. We're getting a divorce, and you'll be paying alimony and child support. And prepare yourself, because I'm also going to the police.
I had recorded Marty's confession earlier with a voice recorder. This should be able to prove his wrongdoing. Marty stood there as if his soul had left his body, but I decided to give the final blow.
Oh, and there's also this.
I took out another photo and held it up in front of Marty. It depicted Marty as a homeless man in the future. Of course, this was also psychically captured by Erica.
I don't want this. Absolutely not. Please. Cheryl, forgive me.
Marty clung to me, sobbing and repeatedly apologizing. However, what he had done was absolutely unforgivable.
I never want to see your face again. Don't ever show up in front of me. You deserve to go to hell. Damn it.
While looking down coldly at Marty, who had collapsed in tears, I called the police. The officers arrived and took Marty away. After being interrogated, Marty confessed to everything and was charged with some crime. The company took the incident seriously, and Marty was terminated. I got divorced, demanded $30,000 in settlement money from Marty in the divorce court, and $500 a month for child support, and the mistress agreed to pay me $10,000. With no income, Marty borrowed money from shady lenders to pay me, living in fear of debt collectors and sleeping in parks. It turned out just like Erica's psychic photo had predicted. However, Erica's mysterious ability disappeared after a while. I don't know what it was, but I think it's for the best. I was promoted at my current job, with a significant salary increase. Thanks to that, Erica and I are now enjoying our days happily together.